Well, you keep waiting for that second running back to come off the board. I think it maybe is in this particular point of the first round, depending on how the combine workout goes. And I say that for this reason. Chris Beanie Wells, running back Ohio State, if he runs in the 4.3s or low 4.4s, may go a little higher. But if he doesn't, he's here for the Philadelphia Eagles. That big back that they need to complement Brian Westbrook, give him that speed dimension. Chris Beanie Wells, had it not been for an injury-plagued senior year, getting off to that rough start with the injury, he probably would have gone a lot higher in round one. So a good pick, Chris Beanie Wells here for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Minnesota Vikings at pick number 22. They need, obviously, to solidify that quarterback position. What will help out is a wide receiver. Hakeem Nicks from North Carolina has a little Michael Irvin in him. Big. Great hand, competitive, will catch in traffic. Speed, though, is the only issue, as it was for Michael Irvin coming out. He didn't run a 4.4. Nick's won't as well, but a complete wide receiver, I think, is a steal at this point of round one. The New England Patriots, Brian Cushing, that multi-dimensional linebacker that Bill Belichick liked so much, could be a Patriot. They went with Gerard Mayo last year out of Tennessee. He had a great rookie year. Go back to linebacker. They got some age at that position, even with Mayo. And Brian Cushing does a lot of things you have to like at that outside linebacker spot. Atlanta Falcons. You talked about John Abraham and the impact he had as a pass rusher. I'll give you another guy that can help out as well in that Atlanta Falcon front seven. Larry English out of Northern Illinois. Had a record-setting career at Northern Illinois in the Mid-American Conference. Great week at the Senior Bowl practices as well. He is a solid first-round pick. Miami, Bill Parcells looking at a wide receiver, I believe, Darius Hayward-Bay. Ted Ginn making some progress, not necessarily enough. Darius Hayward-Bay out of Maryland. Little raw, but super, super talented. He would be that weapon for Pennington. Remember, they're going to move to Chad Henne in the not-too-distant future as well. A wide receiver like Hayward-Bay would make an awful lot of sense at that particular point. The Baltimore Ravens at pick number 26. DJ Moore, a cornerback out of Vanderbilt. They need a corner. We saw that in the playoffs. DJ Moore is a kid with great ball skills, great anticipation, and can help out in the return game as well. An underrated player, a Commodore. They went to a bowl game, Vanderbilt did, and they won it. A lot of that had to do the year they had with DJ Moore and his ability. At this stage of round one, towards the end of the first round, you find guys that maybe you didn't expect to be there still on the board. Now, Indianapolis, I don't see it with Perret Jerry. I think he's underrated. A lot of people still at this point would say, why are you taking Perret Jerry? I haven't heard much of him. Heard of B.J. Raji, heard of Brian Orakpo, those other defensive linemen. Haven't heard of Perret Jerry. In the SEC, he did a great job at Ole Miss, made a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage for Houston Nutt. I think he would be a steal here for Bill Polian, who really feasts at this point in the first round on players that really shouldn't be there, but are. Next pick after the Indianapolis Colts, the Philadelphia Eagles on a pick from Carolina. We hadn't taken Beanie Wells earlier. Now they go to offensive line and a tackle like Michael Orr, also out of Ole Miss. So back-to-back Rebels coming off the board at this point. Or a left tackle. Why is he still there? Inconsistent from game to game. He was a guy, could have been a top 10 pick had he been better, like I say, in terms of his game day grades and performance. Here at this point in the draft, you got to think he makes an awful lot of sense. The New York Giants. James Laurinaitis, linebacker from Ohio State. Would have gone higher had he come out last year. He goes back for a senior year, struggled some in certain games, wasn't protected by those elite defensive tackles. But when you look at James Laurinaitis, up until this year, had been consistently a standout for the Buckeyes. At this point in the first round, a good pick for the New York Giants. Now we get to the Tennessee Titans. Here's a guy, Michael Johnson out of Georgia Tech, a defensive end. Gifted athlete, great wingspan, great height. Had an early first-round grade coming into this year, but struggled. Not real physical, not necessarily the toughness issue one against the run, but he has pass rush potential. And for the Titans, at this point in the first round, you take a flyer on a player who normally you would have not expected to be here at this point. Pick number 31 and 32 will obviously be determined by who wins the Super Bowl. The winner picks at 32, the loser picks at 31. I'll put Arizona at 31 because they didn't have as good a record as the Steelers. That's why they're at 31. And I think the Arizona Cardinals, you know that Edgerrin James being up there in age, Tim Hightower, a good rookie year out of Richmond. I think they go to another young running back, LaShawn McCoy out of Pitt. Great talent, needs to be a little more decisive, eliminate the fumbling problems, but great ability for LaShawn McCoy. At pick number 32, the Pittsburgh Steelers take a guy at center, and Alex Mack out of Cal, who's been, in my opinion, the best center all year in college football. Could also play some guard if you need him. Alex Mack at this point is a guy can anchor a line for 7 to 10 years and do one heck of a job. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers at this point, Alex Mack on ability would probably be around 15 to 18.